Alright, hey guys, it's me, Tetrahedron-Dash, and I'm streaming again on my PS4. This time I'm streaming Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I remember playing it so many times, the original game long ago, like so many years ago, and it's so refreshing to replay it again, but with new content. And I was just minding my own business and playing through the new content after the new content. And well, when I found the bucket, some interesting things happened. Like, let me continue while I talk to you. For example, the escape pod ending, which was always ended cryptically with no actual information on what happens other than it being cryptic. If you get to the part where you unlock the bucket at the starting area in the game, then you go to the escape pod and something different happened. And I just experienced it. I found it out by myself. And I was literally shocked that there was finally an actual ending for the escape pod ending, which always ended abruptly. This is just so cool. There's so much new stuff in this version. So I'm going back to the escape pod to get the bucket, because when you do it with a bucket, it doesn't return anymore in the starting area unless you go back and do it again. Oh, sorry about that. That was my phone. Okay, let's see if it's true, if I will get it back. Let's see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. And try not to lose this one too, you dolt. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Which ending do I want to go with the bucket? I'm thinking. Oh, I know. The either freedom or the defamation one.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, it's open now with the bucket. Let me try going in the elevator again and see if there's something new here now. There might be something new here, unless the elevator's just there to be there, like in the original game. I'll give it a few more seconds. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything here. Okay, alright.
Stepping into the manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
All right.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket?
Okay, let's see if there's anything
was
different.
The bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh wait, there's some... Oh!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini Stanleys? Stanley figures. Oh, what about Stanleys? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanley under your belt.
Nice. Oh, this is the little I might have got enjoyed glitch. Oh wait, I didn't. I'm just an idiot. Alright. Let's check if there's anything new here.
The elevator is down, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Huh?
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
No any sticks in the rainbow battery. I'm just kidding.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Alright, let's check if there's anything new here with the bucket. Unless I disappear for a second in the darkness.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Gosh, I was trying to do that thing.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this. It very nearly burst into tears as Stanley reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's okay, baby, it's okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Reliable.
He could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Wait,
walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
Hang on, let me... Oh, hey. Hey there, pony lover. Always, I know that there's gonna be a fellow Broly on the stream, on my broadcast. That's awesome. It's nice to have you around for the stream, pony lover. But yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm looking for a new dialogue and new endings in the game.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
I really have a feeling this is going to be way different to Escape anymore.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
Alright, hang on, let me check your comments again. Alright.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to...
Huh?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
I had a feeling
Was
it was
Stanley and the bucket
different.
not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket.
Oh God, this would be just darkness.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Damn, that's
To be trapped
depressing.
eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Huh? That was so weird and different. How did I know it was going to be way different? Escape ending with the bucket. I love this new content. Okay, let me check what your last comment was. Oh, my favorite pony. I'm glad you asked. It's Rainbow Dash, obviously. The 20% cooler pony. Or the 20% coolest pony. It's Rainbow Dash, my favorite one.
All of his coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Okay, You guys got any ideas of which ending I should try out now with the bucket? Yeah. Oh, wait. The self-destruct ending. Wait, let me check your message. Maybe the self-destruct ending, because if the building didn't want the bucket to leave with Stanley, then maybe the self-destruct endings would be different. It's not going to end up being self-destruct in the facility because of the bucket. Or maybe the bucket's gonna be able to open a door to save Stanley. I gotta see this. I gotta see the self-destruct ending. It might be different.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, with the bucket's warmth, but Stanley guessed that he was told by sheer love.
Okay, I skipped.
Was it the bucket knew all
I
along?
skipped some time.
Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is
Let me
certainly
check what you said right now. Oh, the staircase. I did that in the older version of the game. I didn't do it in the Ultra Deluxe version, but I know how it goes. Also known as the Insanity ending. But I'm really eager to find out if the self-destruct ending is different this time with the bucket. I don't even know how I predicted the freedom ending would be different with the bucket, or how I had an idea the escape pod ending would be different. I don't know when I'm freaking psychic. I don't know how I had a feeling.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Oh, I know what the one I should do next, the confusing one.
The lights
Going
rose
to the
on an
adventure line
enormous
with the
room packed
bucket.
with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
There, I did a trick. I don't know if we can do it here though.
And Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly
Let me
burst
check
into...
what you wrote again. Oh, the button ending. Yeah, I get it in this version. If you mean the one with the signal received, that you have to reset to get the next computer to have the signal incoming or something like that.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
Wait, no, I know what I should do next. The one where Stanley falls down and kills himself. The one where he goes to the red door.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
Also, I have a Rainbow Dash Plus next to me on my bed right now while I'm broadcasting.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, drinking,
I'm gonna see if
all of
this
it
is
monitored
different.
and
I'll
commanded
check
from
your
its very
next
place.
message in a sec.
And as the cold
I'm so
reality of
eager
his
to
past
see if
began
this is
to sink
different.
in,
The
Stanley
self-destruct
decided
one.
that this machinery would never again exert its
Maybe it
terrible
won't
power
be, but
over
I have a
another.
feeling it will.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all
was
along?
evil!
To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away.
This is reminding me of Rainbow
when
Factory
suddenly,
now.
an image
How Rainbow
appeared
Dash
upon the anonymous
betrays
screen.
Scooter.
Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Yo! Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Okay, which one should I press? The left one or the right one? I honestly don't even know anymore. I'm having the time of my life right now. The funny thing is, I finished rewatching the episode where Rainbow Dash got tamed for the first time. So it hits a different way because of the birds that were trying to become her pet. May the best pet win. That one I was thinking about. Okay, I'll choose the right one. Oh, it changes.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned. This wasn't a mind
Oh,
control
look, it's the
facility.
flamingos from May the
It
Best
was a
Pet
facility
Win.
for monitoring
The
and surveilling
flamingo,
silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
I love this.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
It restarted itself. I thought it was one of those endings where you have to restart it manually. Like the White Room one. Oh, wait, speaking of that, let's do that one first now. The White Room one. That one, it should be faster to do because it's right here.
What could it mean? Stanley
So let's
decided
do
to
that
take an
one
agent.
on a check
Perhaps
now.
he had seen the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Let's see if it's different.
Whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've escaped from that dark office and that pesky monitor. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed,
Hang
desecrating...
on, let me check your comments now. I heard about that movie. I never watched it though, but I heard about it.
of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger.
Wait a sec. Wait. Wait, you sound familiar. Pony Lover, I know this does sound a bit far-fetched, but are you actually my little brother, Julian? The way you talk, it sort of reminds me of him.
Of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time. Dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as...
Ah, it was you. I had a feeling.
Low inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
Whoa!
To this,
Stanley
the
has
bucket
a
fired
voice!
a growl.
Nah.
This is the first time Stanley's talked in the game.
Said the bucket.
Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
Stanley screamed even louder.
Stupid! You!
Oh, it's the narrator pretending to use Stanley's voice.
Stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true
Oh,
form,
no.
transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What?
My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Huh? Oh no. Did I fuck something up? Please tell me I didn't. I still want to use the bucket to find more dialogue. Please don't tell me I did something bad and I have to reset my save. Please don't tell me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Thank God it's there still.
Warmth spread through Stanley's eyes.
Thank God.
With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Oh! Let's do the button and then...
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Alright, now the third input.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
So that means there's another one. That's usually the last one you put before it's in the office. Then this is strange.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had something missed a moment.
Yeah, same. Actually, you hear that they're appearing as a cameo in the... What was that movie? I forget. I forget what it was, but they were appearing as a free cameo in a certain movie. Oh, here we go. Just be... Oh, wait. No, I can't. Or the doors are closed. Let's see if this is different now. I don't think it is. And I think if you go too much out of the office, if the door closes, then... Let me see.
The meeting room.
Yep,
yes, that's where everyone would be.
Alright.
Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be clear? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes, go there. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket. I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh, this is new? Oh!
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not...
Oh my god, yes! It's a game show!
Simply that, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
They're all gonna be no, aren't they?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
The third one, I think it is.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What the?
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Fuck it, I might as well say yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. This is a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Fuck it.
Correct.
What?
This is a bucket.
What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, we both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Why a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
Oh no.
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we can talk after this.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So we can't do the game this one, and we can't do the red door one. So what's... Oh, I have an idea.
This was not a direct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Hmm.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfect if Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, might as well do the
This was not
confusing
a
one
way
now.
to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I'm curious to see how this is going to be different.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place
Oh!
adventurous. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
the bucket isn't even from the original Stanley parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh my god, yes!
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yes! The music again! And I remember this from, I remember that Argo Demon,
Now
a popular...
this is what the Stanley parable is all about. Don't you remember all those...
I remember that Argo Demon, a really popular NLP SFM maker. I remember he made SFM using the music from the Adventure Line, and it was like Rainbow Lasting a Wonderbolt.
Great
They
jokes
were
in
like
the original
games.
dialogue.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Oh
It's
my
as classic
lord.
now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh no.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the
Oh
Stanley parable.
my
It also
god!
was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Oh my
Can
god!
you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Holy
Surely you
shit.
don't need me to spell it out.
This was exactly like the Pegasus device from Rainbow Factory.
Go ahead now, Stanley.
Oh my
Say
lord.
goodbye to the bucket.
This is so awesome. It reminds me of the Pegasus device from Rainbow Factory. The original concept of it, of being a giant grinder
Now listen to
instead
me.
of a syringe
It's crucial that you
machine.
give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved
I have a
Stanley
feeling
parable
I'm
characters? Well, you see, if you were to
it.
really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer
shit.
merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket
fuck.
Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Damn. Wait, I have an idea, I have a feeling. If we get all the new endings with the bucket, there should be one final new ending or something. Well yeah, I get the new... I did a
Just
new
as
version
this
of
guy thought to himself, that's all I need.
the new version of
If I
the
can make it through this
confusing
door,
ending.
a good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley
Alright.
pressed the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his
Oh,
left.
I know what we
This
can
was
do
not
now.
the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him. The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
What happens if we go here?
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it would ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time, it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. Sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection, but it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier. More capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? I'm having feelings.
Holy
The
shit.
bucket.
No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Holy shit. Well, that was definitely different. Holy shit. That was definitely something. Okay, there's only 2 more endings left.
Minutes? Days? Centuries? The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
This time we're trying to unplug the phone for the other ending. Normally, the choices ending.
To go back to the meeting room. No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes, good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly. Now pick up the phone. Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it, but there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look. What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Gunny with the funny."
I'm Gunny with the funny.
I'm Gunny with the funny now.
I'm Gunny with the funny now. Did it freeze?
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply throwing in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper...
Okay, let me check your comment now.
are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back. I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we have the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this was all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud? Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you look. It's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. But let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale in shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Is it the view? Pale with shame. Pale with shame. Pale. What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so mental. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. Getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which is the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. With more instructional videos, that's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
Man, that was amazing. I think that's where the new content ends, though. Let me check your comments. Thanks. Oh, this has been so much fun.
Wait,
replaying the game, but with
am
new
I sure that
content.
the orders stopped
After
coming
so
in?
long.
How is that? The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a
Wait,
better co-worker.
we didn't see the insane one yet. So I'll end the stream off after I get the last one.
And entered the door on his left.
Maybe I can walk into there. Oh wait, no.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs.
Oh wait, there's two more. I'll do the insane one now, and then after the escape one with the crusher. Oh!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and figures. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned its gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket! Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley! Stanley! He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named
Oh,
Mariella.
we're doing this again.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and went to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he had ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mary thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Okay, that was funny. Alright, so there's only one more ending now left, with one more ending with the new dialogue or whatever. The escape one.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Well, of course, yeah, I just have to basically go back to the moisture facility.
Tightly to his chest and enter the door in his nest.
I need you to recall that number again.
But I'm on a stream.
Well, you can wait a sec. Just say be right back 1 sec. Just do redial and I'll talk.
I'll end the stream.